Over the last 10 years, I've hired hundreds of people, and the majority of folks don't really know how to negotiate a salary. That puts them at a significant disadvantage when negotiating and trying to really get what they deserve. Want to get ahead? Stick around. First of all, are you negotiating from a position of power? Do you have a current job that you can walk away from? Are you in a place where you can really call the shots? Most people make the mistake where they really try to negotiate from a position of weakness where they don't really have leverage to really stand their ground on a good negotiation. One of the biggest mistakes you can make is actually saying a number. Oftentimes, as soon as you say a number or you say your prior salary, that puts an anchor in the mind of the person recruiting you or having the negotiation with you. So a lot of folks will try to position on a number. So they may try to negotiate that they want their salary to be X thousand dollars. And while that can work, it's much better to position yourself not with a specific number, but a position of what you think fair is. So if you say, man, if I only got X, that's it. That's where the negotiation essentially ends. You want to make sure that you're really not negotiating against yourself or you're not putting those limits on. So you may say, look, I want to be positioned in the median of my job category. I want to be at the top end of my pay grade. I want to be in the middle of where my peers are. And by using positional negotiation, you're much more likely to achieve an outcome because you're not anchoring on a specific number. If you anchor on a specific number, you could actually end up selling yourself short. You may say, hey, I think I should get paid 50, and the person you're negotiating with was actually going to pay you a lot more. And so by positioning relative to things that are fair or external to the number, you're much more likely to end up in a good position. One of the most limiting things you can do is say that number. And in fact, lots of states have laws that prevent the employer from being able to ask what your prior salary was. So don't make the mistake of kind of volunteering that information. It really puts you in a much weaker position to negotiate.
A couple other things. Do your homework. It's really easy to pull up salary information online. There's a number of websites. Do a little bit of research about your role, your geography, and what's typical for your number of years of experience. You want to be going into the negotiation with as much information as you possibly can so that you have a better anchor for your positional negotiations.
Additionally, you don't want to just negotiate your salary. You want to negotiate all the different aspects of the position. You want to negotiate your title, your equity, your advancement, your career track. You want to make sure that you're opening up the door for other advancement above and beyond salary. Certainly you want to negotiate your salary, but there may be things that are very easy for the company to give you that you're not even thinking about. Make sure you think about all the potential things that are advantageous for you. Some companies can give you a career track, some companies can give you advancement, education, they may give you mentoring or things that will long-term help you much more than a small increase in salary. So certainly negotiate salary as well, but think about all the things that you can negotiate.
One thing you really want to make sure you don't do is complain, whine, or threaten to quit. You want to make sure that you're keeping the negotiation really civil. You want to make sure that you're in a position where if you win the negotiation, you're going to want to continue to work with these people. And when people complain during a negotiation, or they whine, or they threaten to quit, they may win the negotiation in the short term, but in the long term, it's really going to limit their trust level with their managers, with the person who they were doing that negotiation with, and that person's not going to want to promote them to higher levels of advancement in the organization. You really want to approach the negotiation not from a win-lose scenario where one side of the negotiation wins and the other side loses, but more of a how do we find a better middle ground. You may feel that right now your salary or your title or your position isn't really fair for the skills that you bring to the table. by having that negotiation, you can actually position yourself for more responsibilities, which could be a win-win for both your career and for the company that may be looking for additional seniority to take on additional responsibilities. Again, you have to be thinking about it from how do I make it a win-win for everybody? Yes, you may get paid a little more, which might be what you want, but it may also create additional opportunities for the company, creating that win-win. If you've done your homework and you're coming into the negotiation in a really civil and organized manner, you can really make the case. You can make the case of why you deserve a change, why you deserve additional advancement or additional salary, additional title, and make the case, make a convincing argument for why that is, and give that conversation space to breathe. Don't negotiate against yourself. At the end of the day, you want to make sure that you're creating an environment where you're happy to work and where your employer or your boss wants very much to keep you and wants to make sure that you are being treated fairly. And so make the case that you think that the middle isn't quite where the employer thought it was, and maybe it should be moved this way or that. There's a huge problem in this country of pay equity where people aren't paid what they're worth. And this is specifically and most predominantly a problem for women and minorities. And so make sure you do your homework, make the case. Good luck with your negotiation. I hope you get everything that you deserve. Thanks for sticking around. Till the next one.